happened here?
There's been a murder.
Who was the victim?
Alexander Hamilton.
Ah, what are those documents you have?
The Bill of Rights and Declaration of the Rights of Man.
Of course, that's political. I believe he was a Federalist, and the Anti-Federalists and the Federalists, of course, have been going at it for a while now. I believe this was the work of an Anti-Federalist seeking revenge. For what, we do not know. But who is the most prominent Anti-Federalist? Who would gain the most from his fall?
Abraham Lincoln.
What? You idiot. Thomas Jefferson. This is unbelievable. The kind of people you have working here. Open up, New York Police Department. Detective Potter, may I have a word with you? You may.
What is the occasion, Mr. Potter?
Well, a terrible tragedy has occurred. In case you may or may not know, your main rival, a Federalist rival, Alexander Hamilton, found murdered in his home last night. And, as the main Anti-Federalist, you can say you've become a person of interest.
Well, Mr. Potter, Hamilton and I have gone way back as rivals, political rivals, different political ideas, wanting different things for the country. But I never have done this to him. You know that.
I cannot say that I do know that. Where were you the night of the 25th?
I was here, my humble abode, in Monticello. My wife can attest to that.
Your wife?
My wife, Martha.
Well, do you have any idea who might have done this terrible murder?
Well, I do know that Hamilton was knocking boots with Maria Reynolds, and I can't imagine her husband was very happy with it.
James Reynolds.
James Reynolds.
You see, thank you for your time.
You're welcome,
You've
Mr. Potter.
You've been a massive help in this investigation. Do not leave town.
I won't!
Well, do you have any additional evidence for me?
Sorry, sir, we have nothing.
Typical. So much that I you know, it doesn't matter. I have a new lead in this investigation that could potentially be the key to this whole thing. I have inside information that James Reynolds is our perp, and I must go to the Reynolds residence. Mr. Reynolds, I have a pressing matter I need to discuss with you. I wish to inform you that you have become the prime suspect in the Alexander Hamilton murder case.
That is ridiculous.
Is it so? I've heard rumors from very reliable people that your wife was getting a little bit too affectionate with Alexander Hamilton.
Don't talk about my wife that way.
And if you ask me, that's a pretty good motive for murder.
I did no such thing.
Really? Can you prove it? Where were you the night of the 25th?
The night of the 25th. I believe I was in Baltimore with my family. They can prove it. Go ask them.
You don't mind if I do so? Okay.
I don't mind at all.
I will do so. In the meantime, I highly recommend that you do not leave town, because that would be quite disastrous.
Get off of my property.
Sir, I have news.
Doesn't make sense. James's alibi checks out.
Well, I have new evidence. Inside this here whiskey jug were three things. A note written, "Thanks, my friends. I know we're going to do it." This receipt for a train ticket to Philadelphia, as well as a bank receipt.
Interesting. Did you find all of this at the crime scene?
Yes, it was in a trash heap at the exit of the house.
Interesting. Where does this lead to?
Well, I've had some ideas, and I believe it could be Albert Gallatin.
Interesting.
He is an ambassador to Philadelphia and has lived there most of his life. As well as that, Hamilton and him are fierce rivals, as he is politically opposed to the Federalists. Also, this whiskey jug could symbolize how he was angry at Hamilton for making him impose the tax upon his own people that he disagreed with in the first place, that would make them pay a tax on whiskey.
Weasley, you've done well. There's only one thing left to do. We must find this man and give him a fate worse than Azkaban! Albert Gallatin, you're under arrest for the murder of Alexander Hamilton.
With grounds? What grounds?
Grounds that you're an anti-federalist and you strongly oppose his ideals. You hated the man for imposing the whiskey tax upon your people. And also, there was a note at the crime scene stating the purpose from Philadelphia, which I believe is where your residence is.
I've got news for you, mate. You're dead.
Abracadabra!